All
Welcome
right.
to the Hopeful Hearts podcast. It's good to be here today. I'm Tamara Lexo, the Executive Director of Hopeful Hearts Ministry, and I'm here with my dear friend Shannon Carr on her birthday. Happy birthday,
Yay!
Shannon.
Thank you. I have to show everybody. Look,
Ooh,
I'm
vintage.
50. Vintage. I'm
50
very vintage.
years old.
As my bonus daughter said to me
Yeah.
today, she was like, "You have been around the sun 50 times." And I'm like,
Wow.
"Oh, wow. Well,
Huh,
that's a great way to put it."
that is
You have
50.
circled the sun 50 times. I was like, yes, I have. I have. I'm
You
more
have.
wise for it. Yeah.
Definitely. I love
No,
that.
it's been a great day so far. I woke up to a sweet little note for my husband and this great little t-shirt.
Oh,
And then the girls got me some chocolate glazed donuts with little
yum.
birthday candles and a birthday balloon. And so it's been really sweet. It's been
Very
nice.
sweet.
Yeah, yeah. How
Very
have you been?
sweet. Good. I'm recording in my kitchen right now because for some reason, internet just didn't want to work in my office today. That's the fun of technology, right? I
Right?
mean,
I mean, well, that happens sometimes.
like there's
Sometimes
no
things.
reason. And it's fun working at home and my husband's working at home. And so like he's in his office and we have routers all over the house, but whatever. So it
Right.
is what it is.
Just for everybody to understand, like we do this on YouTube. We also film it and you can watch us if you want. You
Mm.
can see how beautiful Tamara is and how I always look like I'm a wet, drowned dog. But I shouldn't put myself down. We talk about that, not
No,
to put ourselves.
I
I look
know we
absolutely
do.
beautiful, fantastic
You
for
do.
50, right? Um,
Fantastic for
but I
any
don't.
age.
Well, thank you. But I don't have my own little office, so I'm kind of open. So if you hear my dogs as we kind of
Yeah.
started today, um, or hear other things, that is why. And,
Yeah.
we have decided not to be the kind that has to edit every little thing out. We kind
Hmm.
of like it natural because I think we get the best of life natural, right? So
I do.
just putting that out to there for those of
Hmm.
y'all listening in. Um, but I do have to say, Tamara, I mean, one thing, I always like to correlate things, and you always bring up the best little, what is it that you call them? Like, I remember what do they call it when you make an example of something or you point something out? Like you did a beach ball example one time. I can't think of what that's
Like an
called.
antidote.
Yeah. Is that what it's called? Isn't that funny that I
I don't know.
can't think
Maybe
of the word?
yeah. I know what you're trying to say. Can't think of it.
Anyway,
Words just
just the
fall out of
fact,
my head.
I mean,
Um,
I don't have it.
just at that age where
Uh,
words just like I
right.
learned things when I went to school, but I don't know. Words just
I
fall
can't,
out now.
it's
So,
been a very long time since I've been to
hmm,
kindergarten, that's for sure.
yeah, same.
Um,
Mm.
but since your internet's not working, you had to redirect, you had to find
Right.
some other place, and you
Hmm.
went with it. And for me, it kind of goes along with the topic that we want to get involved in today,
Yeah.
which is called resilience.
Yes.
Just having that resilience, and
Yeah.
and I think it's perfect that we're doing this on my birthday. I've been kind of under the weather the last few days, so we
Hmm.
haven't been able to tape when we normally do. And but I've been thinking about, and I want to tell you about the trip that I just had and just about some people that
Hmm.
I've met, somebody I want to have on as a guest at some point. But right now, I just want to make this comment about my 50th birthday. And I
Hmm.
was thinking about this as I was, walking the dogs this morning and knowing that we were going to be taping today. And I want you to share your own thoughts. You're much younger than me.
Not
That's
much.
okay.
I'm 46.
But I'm sure that you can definitely relate to some of this. But, I think about the fact that I'm 50 and if I'm to be honest, I would have
Hmm.
never been able to think that I would make it to 50.
Yeah.
And not just because I've had cancer, or
Hmm.
because I've dealt with cancer, but
Mhm.
when I was in high school and I had a boyfriend that I loved and adored, and he ended up unfortunately passing in a car accident.
Mhm.
And I'll never forget just the devastation of that loss of that, and I know that you understand that just
Mhm.
that sudden loss. And I think because he was my age,
Mhm.
um, or he was a few years older, but within, as a young person that suddenly
Right.
died, he died in a car accident.
Yeah.
I think it made me realize how vulnerable we are and how
Yeah.
much, life can bring, like how quickly it can end.
Mhm.
Um, but then I always then at that point, because there was so much that was going on in my life, I was dealing with, just dealing
Mhm.
with the struggles and dealing with rape then, and then later on, it just kind of kept compounding, right?
Mhm.
And it just
Yeah.
felt like I don't know if I'll ever live to see a certain age. And I remember turning 25 and feeling the same way, and then turning 30 and feeling,
Mhm.
and keep, let's keep going to all those
Right.
milestones. I think every time I hit a certain milestone, I think, wow, I've made it here, and how
Mhm.
exciting. And I think for this one,
Yeah.
for me, is the most exciting because I've had moments in my life and where probably mainly in my late 30s, 40s, where things were such a struggle at times
Mhm.
where it, and it might sound crazy because some people might look at me or look at my past and think, no, you were doing your best at that time. You started Hopeful
Yeah.
Heart. You were doing all these
Mhm.
great things, but at that time, I was really in a definite struggle just with myself and figuring out who I am and being like, I don't know, a part of me would just rather be with God. And and I hate to say this with you because I know that's one of your traumas of having lost your mother and
Yeah.
her having come to that place, right?
Mhm.
And thankfully, I never had it in me to do that. I just was
Mhm.
at a place where I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can go on. I don't know if I can
Mhm.
continue where I'm at, or I don't know if I want to continue to keep going up and then falling down, or
Right. Right.
getting into these situations that it just felt like I was stuck. And I will say that's why I think of resilience. Like, I am proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for moving forward from that and always trying to find even that glimpse of a light within the darkness, just that pinhole of light to hold on
Yes.
to and know that God has more, had more, and continues to have
Yeah.
more for me. So, having now reached this milestone, again, look at me, I about want to cry.
That's
Like,
okay.
I'm excited because I absolutely believe that there is so much more in the next possibly 50 years. I'd be happy if even
Yeah.
40 more years,
Right.
right? Like, some of the best could happen. And I think that's because I can now fully say that I have endured, I have overcome, I have, I can now look back and go, look, I overcame that. That means I can overcome whatever it is that is to come my way. There will still be more stumbling blocks for me. There
Mhm.
will still be more things that happen. Um, but I will, I will endure because I am resilient and I
Absolutely.
can survive. Do you
Absolutely.
relate to that in any way?
No, not
No, everything's been so
no.
perfect.
Mm-mm. Right. No, no, not at all. Not at all. No, this morning, I was having breakfast with my son. He had late arrival today. Our high school does late arrival on Thursdays. And so got up and made cinnamon rolls. And when I say I made cinnamon rolls, I opened the can and heated them up in the oven. So I didn't like roll them out.
Isn't that how we
Um,
all make cinnamon
right,
rolls these days?
right, right. But, made cinnamon rolls. And so I was just kind of scrolling Instagram. We were sitting here and there's um, this lady that does these morning affirmations that a friend kind of turned me on to. And she's so funny. And she kind of yells and one of the things she says, now you go out there and you have a good day, Miss. And so I turned to my son and I said, you go out there and you have a good day on purpose. He just looked at me. It's like, that's kind of what I feel like. It's like you go out there now and do life on purpose, because
Mm,
we've had the broken pieces here that some are by the choices that we've made ourselves, and some are by um choices that other people have made that have broken us. And so now we get to choose how we glue it all together. And um we can glue it all back, to make it how it would, sort of how it was, or we can make some sort of mosaic that looks like something else, but we get to choose.
right. That's
And
absolutely
it's going to be beautiful either way.
right.
So we get to
Absolutely.
choose, and that's the beautiful part of it.
I have one of the, I have a lot of these little things that have
Hmm.
inspirational quotes. I
Yeah.
see a few of you behind, a few of them behind
Yeah.
you.
Right.
She took her broken pieces and she built herself a throne. I love that. It's one of my favorite ones, and so I keep
Mm-hmm.
it right in front of me on my desk here. And I just think, how beautiful that is. It reminds me. So on this cruise, so last week I went on a honeymoon with my husband, even though we've been, um, married. We've been married for a while, but we got married officially in the Catholic Church in February. But we've just now finally got to take our honeymoon.
Finally.
Although the kids are like, how many honeymoons have you taken? You're always going on a honeymoon. And I'm like, we've not officially taken a full week, and it just be
Right.
him and I, where we were
Right.
with nobody else. And it was
It
absolutely
doesn't
wonderful.
count if you have to take your kids with you.
Right, exactly. Or even we've had weekends where we've been by
Right.
ourselves or we've been with friends, but
Right.
it's just not the same.
Doesn't count.
But
Right.
anyway, it doesn't count. And we had a
Of
great time. But I met this person on the ship. First of all, we
course you
had a
did.
great time. Of course, I met somebody, right? Actually did pretty well. I mean, I do realize that I talk to everybody. Russ
Yeah.
says that I've got the kindergarten cop problem. And I don't know if anybody else knows that reference, but it's from the kindergarten cop movie. But I go, who's your daddy and what does he do?
Yeah.
Like, I can't not get
Right.
involved in a conversation with
Yeah.
somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, and I do try to stop that as much as possible. I realize maybe I'm a little
Mm-hmm.
bit too inquiring, or nosy or whatever. But anyway, I was determined. They had this place where they would do karaoke every night.
I
And I
love
was like,
that.
I'm singing, I'm gonna do karaoke. I
Mm-hmm.
did Gloria Gaynor's
I will
I
survive.
will survive.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hey. Anyway, and so there was a young couple at the bar that Russ ended up talking to, and they were honeymooners. I say young couple, they're in their mid 30s, but they looked much younger than that. But I mean,
Yeah.
that is still young, much younger than
Yeah.
me. But anyway, so we ended up sitting with them because they're like, it was in the middle, I guess the middle part of the cruise, Wednesday or Thursday.
Mm.
You literally forget days while you're on a
I
cruise, by the
know. I
way,
know.
which you've been on a cruise.
I love cruising. That is my vacation of choice. I would live on a cruise. I would love to retire and just live on a cruise ship for the rest of my days.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead. I digress.
It was so funny. We get on an elevator and it tells you what day it is. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't
They
realize it's
change the little
Wednesday.
floorboards every day so that you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Anyway, so this was Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
they were like, we're determined, like they were going to have fun that night. And I'm like, all right, then let's join them. We're gonna have fun this night. And so we meet up with them and I start talking to her. And I had recognized them earlier in the week when we were departing and we went to Roatan, and they were on the same elevator with us and got off, and they get off the boat and she goes, well, look, she's from Texas. They're from Gunslinger, Texas. And I didn't even know there's a place called Do you know
Didn't either, but I
Gunslinger?
love it. No.
From Gunslinger, Texas. And I could say all this because she's going to come on. She's going to be a guest with us one day. And
Oh, good.
but she goes, look, and I think her husband's name is Joshua. Look, Joshua, we have set foot on international ground. And I just thought it was the cutest dang thing I ever heard in my life.
I
And yeah,
love
like
it.
they had never been anywhere else. So I just remembered her. We walked on, we had our
Hmm.
time. That
Yeah.
was literally on Tuesday, and now this was
Yeah.
Thursday or something. So I told her that. I think I freaked her out that I remembered that little moment of her life. And so we start talking. Well, this young woman has been through so much. She has served our country in the military. I think
Hmm.
she was in for 8 years and then broke her
Oh,
back. So now she's a disabled vet, but she can walk and everything. But she,
yeah.
in service, she got a broken back, and
Yeah.
so she is a disabled vet.
Mm-hmm.
And this is her second marriage. She was in her first marriage, and I don't know the whole story behind that. And but now she has an eye disease, and the muscles in her eyes are dying, and she is going blind, and she literally will not be able to see. And she had on really thick glasses, and she looked at me and she was like, "Well, like I can make out your shape, but I can't see your face." And I was like, "So I'm absolutely beautiful to you right now." She kind of laughed, and she was like, "I everybody's beautiful to me,"
Yeah.
which I just thought, what a great, I don't know,
Yeah.
how awesome is that,
Yeah.
right? That there's no
Right.
judgment no matter
Mm.
what, because
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
don't see who they are or
Mm-hmm.
what they look like or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But what was so wonderful and just this thought of resilience with her is
Mm-hmm.
her attitude. And she was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yes, Joshua has been so great about fulfilling my bucket list to see certain things before I officially go blind." And I was like,
Mm.
"Wow, that is amazing." And she was like, "Because," and I go, "So will you go completely blind or will you be able to make out?" And she was like, "No, I will go completely blind." And she said, "But life has just been so great to me." And I mean, she just had this most amazing, amazing, amazing attitude. And um, she ended up in um, getting a job. She just went through school. She was telling me she just went through school to be a massage therapist because she can do massage therapy and not have to see,
Ah,
right? And
I
how
love
awesome
that.
is
That's so
that,
smart.
right? So
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, it just reminded me, and that's why I really wanted to kind of talk about this today, even just thinking
Mm-hmm.
about my own past and you and
Mm-hmm.
your resilience and your past. Just it
Mm-hmm.
is what we make of life,
It,
right?
it
It's
really is.
That's the difference between just surviving and
Mm-hmm.
thriving,
Yeah.
is that we can have these moments of where we get so
Mm-hmm.
caught up in our woes and
Mm-hmm.
we think life will never get better.
Yeah.
And at some point, you have to be intentional. You have to stand up and go, wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's
Mm-hmm.
more for me. I need to stand up, I need to get up, and I need to move forward. And I
Yeah.
can't rely on everybody else to do it. I have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to do it with God by my
Mm-hmm.
side.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. We
I
can
feel like I've
blame.
just,
We can keep blaming and uh, focusing on what took us down, what brought us down, what was the source of our sorrow. You know, we can wallow in that forever, and some of that has to happen. You know, we can. I saw a quote yesterday that said something like, was sat with my anger long enough until it told me its name, and its real name was grief." And I thought it was really profound because it's like, you know, we can be so angry for so long, and anger really is one of the steps of grief. But um it's like we can be angry for so long at so many things, that because we lose so much in our life, and we can be angry at all of those losses and wallow in all of that, but eventually we have to decide what we're going to do with that. what we're going to do with that
Mhm.
anger, what we're going to do with that loss, what we're going to do with that grief. And it's really pointless to just wallow in it forever, because that's, that, I mean, that's what takes us down and causes us to die, really. I mean,
Mhm.
that's what makes us sick. That's what,
Yeah.
when we see those people that are just stuck in that are in stuck in the addiction, that have lost their job, that can't get out of it. Um, and sometimes it really can become a sickness where
Mhm.
your brain gets stuck in those pathways in there. They start to change. The chemicals start to change in your brain. And so we have to really rewire our brain. And we do that by changing the way we talk to ourselves, changing the way we think. And it's hard. We do it one thought at a time, one
Mhm.
word at a time, the way we speak to ourselves, by speaking kindly to ourselves. And you and I have said this so many times, that those daily affirmations, those things that we say to ourselves over and over and over, they really matter. I mean, it
Mhm.
seems so silly, and it feels so silly looking in the mirror saying to myself, I am a child of God. I am loved. Good
Mhm.
things will happen to me today because I am loved and I matter. But
Mhm.
it matters. Your brain doesn't know the difference. And so when you
Right.
start saying those things to yourself, your brain rewires, and you will start behaving as
Mhm.
if you are in a better mood. And then you start acting like you're in a better mood, and you will start doing better for
Right.
yourself.
Mhm. And I do believe that it's important that we recognize the need to take that control of our lives to make those choices, right? Nobody can make
Mhm.
you do anything. And when you decide I am in control, no matter it's not my therapist that is can
Mhm.
help me with everything, it's not Tamara or myself that can
Mhm.
get me out of everything. Like I am the one that has to make this choice. And
Mhm.
when you get yourself in a certain position, I always tell people it's okay if you feel like you need to be in that moment of anger or in that moment of sadness. I mean, we all need that moment, right? We need a time to
Mhm.
cry. Sometimes a good cry is
Absolutely.
what you need to
Yeah.
to rejuvenate you. I mean, there's moments where I just literally physically feel myself. I need to cry. I
In
need to
fact, I
get this
read
out.
something about that the other day, and I wish I had saved that, but it was
Saved it.
saying something about that when you need to cry, when you don't, when you stop
Uh-huh.
yourself from crying, that it does some kind of physical thing to your body, like there's a negative reaction of, like, it's better for you to just let it out and be done with it
Mm,
than to stop it. Like it's
yeah.
good to just let it out and be done with it. So, like, your
Yeah.
body needs to
I
release
mean,
it.
I have felt it. I mean, I've
Yeah. Oh,
literally
yeah.
physically felt that difference, and I've been like, I think I just need to cry. And sometimes you even
Mhm.
have to watch something to make you cry because
Yeah.
you can't cry about whatever it is because maybe you're so mad.
Mhm.
You're just so mad you can't cry, but you need to
Yeah.
cry or whatever the case may be. But I think it just really all comes down to fully fighting that good fight, is what I've written before.
Mhm.
Fighting for yourself, making that choice, you choosing, but you recognizing you're the one with God, like God's in control. But that's
Mhm.
okay. So here's the conundrum here. God is in control, but when you put God in control, that's what puts you in control, if that makes any sense. When you start following God's will, when you start following
Mhm.
Him, looking to Him, and trusting in Him, and understanding that He wants nothing but beautiful goodness and blessing in your life,
Mhm.
then you are in control and you can make the right decisions. And
Mhm.
yes, bad things may still happen, or people might
Yeah.
let you down, or whatever. It doesn't mean that suddenly life is peaches and cream. I
Right.
mean, it's just not going to be that way, but you start seeing it differently, just like my
Mm-hmm.
friend Krista is her name, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
actually. And she just started, you know what? Like, she can't change this unfortunate disease that she has. She can't change what happened to her when she was in the army. She
Mm-hmm.
can't change any of those things, but what she can do is start figuring out how can she make her life enjoyable and what she
Yeah.
wants of it and what she needs to make it. And
Right.
that is what she has chosen to do. And
Mm-hmm.
that exudes from her and makes
Mm-hmm.
people love to be around her. You know, she
Mm-hmm.
had nothing but a smile on her face that whole week.
Yeah.
She
Oh,
just
yeah.
was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so awesome. I love that. I love that. And people like that are such a joy. And so amazing to be around. And think about that. I mean, there are people that have everything going for them in their life. They're so beautiful. They've got their health, they have wealth, they've got, I mean, just everything. And they are so negative and
Mhm.
just awful to be around. Like you hate to be around them. But then here's this
Yep.
woman that has this horrible affliction,
Uh-huh.
and this horrible thing that's going on with her, but has so much joy in her life. She's made the choice to do good things with this. And, like, it doesn't make sense, but
Mhm.
that's what it is. I mean, it's that joy that's coming out of her,
Yeah.
and it makes you want to be around her. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that
Yeah.
so much. That's
Yeah.
so cool. That resilience in her. I love
Yeah.
it.
So another, and I
Mm.
gave her my card. She said she was really
Yeah.
excited. I told her I want you to be on our podcast. So hopefully she
Hmm.
will reach out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have her information, so we'll see. And we
Hmm.
do, and I know Tamara's going to be working on this. We have a lineup of different people that we
Yeah, we
want to
do.
have on the show so that you
Hmm.
don't have to keep listening to us, maybe say the same things over and over again. But another thing that I wanted to share, and I mean, to me, it just points out that, well, a negative and a positive. The negative is that how prevalent it is to have the situations you and I have been in, that
Hmm.
so many people have been in them.
Hmm.
But then the positive is just how God can introduce us to certain people so that we could be there to talk. And
Hmm.
on one of our excursions, I met another couple that has a daughter around my age. So this was an older couple that we met that were on the
Hmm.
cruise. Um, and they were just befuddled because their daughter, grown woman, she's a grown woman, um, had just lived a very perfect life, had
Yeah.
not really had anything bad happen. And then now there's this major situation going on with her and her marriage and her, husband and all of this. And I don't want to share too much, but
Hmm.
they were just like, what do we do? What do we do? And they themselves have been through their
Hmm.
own shocking, like they
Right.
could write a book if I could talk.
Yeah.
I won't talk about what their lives were, but
Right.
but they then were in shock because their own daughter seemed like they felt like we kept her from all this,
Yeah.
right? And then
Right.
now, how are we, you know, they feel like the wool was, pulled over their eyes, and now they're in shock just by some things that are going on, and they want to help their daughter, obviously. But
Hmm.
um, it's and they were like, I think God brought us to you, to talk to you. And I'm like, well, I appreciate that, and I would love to think that God does that, and I do believe that God does
Hmm.
that, and I do hope I get to work with this
Hmm.
young woman. But it just also made me think of nobody. I don't want to be in a negative in this. I think that it would be really hard pressing for me to find a person that hasn't had something happen in their lives, And if you feel like you're
Absolutely.
listening and you're like, well, nothing's happened in my life, should I be looking for that, next thing? I don't want you to feel that way either. I
Right.
just think that we all have to be careful and prepared. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you understand where I'm trying
That's
to go with that?
I do. I think, that's the thing about this world that we live in, that it's a broken world and it's filled with sin, and that's just the reality of it, that there are bad things happening all around us. And the gift that we have as believers in Jesus is that we are going to be saved from this, that we get to have an eternity with him. And that's the hope that we have. That's why resilience is a gift, that we have joy, is because we know that this is not forever. We know um, that we have a home in heaven one day, that we get to be with him. One day we will have those perfect bodies, that we will be at the feet of Jesus, where there will be no more tears, and we'll get to have laughter forever, and beautiful music,
Hmm.
and perfect food, and there's going to be
Hmm.
no more tears, and no more pain, and no more hurting, and um, no more disease. All of that it's going to be wonderful. And um, this life that we have it's just so temporary, and that's what gives us the hope we have now. um I don't know how people do it that don't have the belief, really. um the people that don't believe in it, I don't know how
Right.
they get through it. I don't know how they have resilience, really. I don't.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Well, I know that through in the last 12 years, I've worked with a lot of people of all
Hmm.
different kinds, and it's
Hmm.
a matter of believing in anything. It's just having
Yeah.
some belief
Yeah.
of a higher power. I mean, I guess that's
Yeah.
what they say within,
Yeah.
AA.
Yeah.
You and I believe in Jesus Christ and the
Right.
saving grace of
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, but
Yeah.
um,
I don't know how
it
like, if
is. I
someone
do want
doesn't
to
have a
reach everybody. Yeah.
right. I just don't know how, like, if someone doesn't have any kind of belief of that, I don't know. Like, if someone
Yeah.
doesn't have a hope of anything, I don't know how they would
Right.
have
Right.
a resilience. And that's to say, that's the thing, is you have to have a hope. You have to have a hope,
Hmm.
to have a resilience. And I guess that's what I want people to say, is that you have to look up first. And part of
Hmm.
recovery is, they say, you have to hit a rock bottom first.
Hmm.
Um, and so I guess for anybody out there, I would say look up, because
Right.
that's what we want you to do, is to look up. Um,
Hmm.
look for that light, because there's somebody
Right.
somebody out there that's going to reach out to you. Somebody wants you to be better. Somebody wants to show you the way up.
Hmm. Absolutely. And that's also another rule I have with Hopeful Hearts is, if you're wanting help, you call us on your own. You reach out, you
Yes.
email. Um, we won't allow a husband to say, my wife needs help,
Right.
or a mother to say, my
Hmm.
son needs help.
Right.
We'll listen. We'll be there for that
Yeah.
mother or that husband because
Hmm.
they may need to talk as well. So never turn anybody away. But there is an aspect to making that choice. Just like with AA, you have to hit bottom, and then they
Hmm.
have to make a choice to go. That's the only really true way that somebody will fully be recovered, is if when they make a choice. And you and I have often talked about. I mean, healing is not easy. It's not you know just going out and smiling and laughing all the time. I know you and I have quite a bit
Right.
of laughter. Um, but we've been through quite a lot of pain, and
Yes.
we still struggle with some things together and call each other
Hmm.
and cry through it. And
Hmm.
not everything's perfect in either one of our lives at this very moment. Nothing's
Hmm.
perfect. We have our current struggles that we go with,
Absolutely.
and maybe we don't talk about them on this because they're too fresh, they're too new, they're
Hmm.
something that we haven't
Yeah.
worked through 100%,
Mm-hmm.
yet.
Right.
And I say that to encourage everybody because
Yeah.
by all means, I think sometimes it can be discouraging to listen and think I'll never get to where they are, or they'll never understand, the constant struggle or whatever it is that you might think in your head. And I just want to say, no, we do. We do still sit and have relationships
Yeah.
problems and kid problems and personal insecurities
Mm-hmm.
and, all those things that we deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And we may not do the right thing. I know I'd
And
haven't.
rarely do the right thing.
We try. And
Yeah,
then that's why we open
absolutely.
up ourselves and we become
Yeah.
vulnerable on here so that we could say, look, I messed up in this. I don't want you to mess up
Yeah,
in this. Or,
exactly.
I'm acknowledging that maybe, I shouldn't have, said certain things after my
Mhm.
divorce, or I shouldn't have,
Right.
done certain things, or,
I learned
that kind
most
of
of my
thing. And
lessons the hard way.
absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. But as I'm working on now is forgiveness of self. I
Hmm.
think I'm getting even like I'm
Same.
really every day getting closer to that of just
Yeah.
saying, you know what? I can't go back. I can't go back and do a wand and make things better or change the decisions I've made or,
Can't.
that kind of thing. So I need to just do better now and to love myself and forgive myself through that. And um, and then try to pray that I can maybe help somebody prevent themselves from doing the same thing or feeling the same woe or whatever the case may be. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think of resilience as like an elastic band, like
Mm.
a about stretches. And when I was when you first said, "Oh, let's talk about resilience today," I was thinking about like an underwear band. You how like when you get new underwear and it's like now they have like these it's like seamless underwear and it's so nice that and like doesn't
Uh-huh.
dig
I
into
like
you
it.
and it's like smooth and soft and um doesn't dig and that's the best kind. It like doesn't make any marks in you and it's like that's how I want to be. Like just that nice it's like I just want to be like that, like where it's like the perfect elastic that's like smooth and just snug like that, where I can
Yeah.
just be where I like hug in and just, but not too like limp, where I like sag and
Where
hang
it's worn
down
out.
and like be worn out,
Yeah.
but not constrict so much where like things bulge around me,
Right.
like not
See,
so
you're
tight that
doing
the
it
fat
again.
bulges edges
The
like the
muffin
muffin
top.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so just smooth and silky, like
Yeah.
no pony line. That's the
Yeah.
resilient I want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't set a timer
And
today. I'm
I
just
find
like
myself
wandering. I'm just like letting us
uh,
ramble on. So,
well, I don't think we
talking
have to
about
have any
panties
specific
and
time. What I really hope as we're ending, I don't know if
yeah,
we have anything else to say
no,
about
no
resilience.
thanks.
We'll end on her fantastic, whatever
End on
that's
my
called.
panty
We did it again.
resilience.
On your panty resilience,
Yeah.
your underwear resilience. If I
Hmm.
say panties in front of Russell, he's like, "Ooh, don't say that." I don't know why he gets like that. I'm like, okay, don't get your panties in a wad.
Yeah.
Um, but see, that's the thing. Well, if we have that perfect resilience,
Yeah.
you wouldn't get
Right.
in a wad because,
Wouldn't be in a
it
wad.
would fit
It'll just be like
perfectly.
seamless.
Yeah, that's right.
Love it.
Anyway, if we always would love to know what you guys want to hear about, what you're
Yeah.
struggling with. Of course, we're here to help
Mhm.
you, period. But just even just for the podcast in general, if there's some general topic or something that we have not touched upon, please do reach out. We would love to be able to hear from you and to support you. And please don't forget to share us with others.
Yes.
I know sometimes we might be that one that you keep to yourself because you don't want people maybe to know that you're listening to us, or but I think we're funny enough that maybe hopefully it won't be, they don't have to know that you have anything going on, that you're listening to us, right? But please do try to share and help grow our support, because the
Right.
more people that know, the more people we're going to help,
Right.
even just by listening. And I,
Right.
I do believe that. I do believe God will work through us without us even
Absolutely.
realizing it.
And sharing is
Um,
caring,
yeah.
and we are a nonprofit. We are a 501(c)(3) and supported by generosity of people like you. And you can go to hopefulheartsministry.org and donate today to support the work that we are doing. And um, all of the programs that we offer, whether it's a one-on-one peer support or this podcast or the classes that we offer, we do offer, if you are in the Lake Houston area, we offer twice a month. We have Just Breathe and Healing Yoga are on the first and third Monday of the month at the Kingwood Community Center. We have a retreat coming up. I don't know when you're listening to this, but um, in November of 2023. We've got a retreat coming up, and our annual gala is coming up in February of 2024. That tickets are available now. So we really hope that you would support us. So again, you can go to hopefulheartsministry.org, because it is people like you that allow us to help others out there. And as you have heard today, there are people that reach out to us every day. I had several people reach out this week that I was able to help, and um, we are we're just really glad that God has placed us in this position. It is an honor to be able to be here and to listen and to love on people, to pray with people, and to be there for people. So, again, share this podcast, let people know that we're here. We are glad that you're here with us today. Shannon, thanks for sharing. And again, happy
Thank
birthday.
you. I appreciate it. I'm 50 years
50
old.
years old. You
Thank you.
can jump and you can kick and you can stretch.
Stretch.
Bye,
All right.
everybody.
Take care.